Welcome to our first broadcast of Bebop Boulevard. We're going to talk about stuff.
And things.
And review anime for you!
Yay! And it's not necessarily going to be for people who have already seen the animes, which if you have, that would mean you're open to discussion, which would be very welcome. But it's also kind of a way to introduce people to anime that they may or may not have heard about. If they're people like us who just have so much anime they want to watch and don't know where to start, we could kind of give them our own opinion on it, to give a few suggestions, and just maybe overall just create a bit of discussion about anime in general, because there's so much of it and it's a really interesting medium for art and expression. And unlike other arts, it's something that's kind of casual, so it's something enjoyable and fun, so you don't really think too much about it like it's some kind of chore. So there's a lot of potential there.
And the more support we have as far as people watching us, the better we'll get, hopefully.
Well, we're going to try and get better just because that's what we do anyway, but support would be nice. Yeah. Definitely it would feel better to make videos that people were actually going to watch instead of just harassing our friends to watch our videos and then just be like, ugh.
And we're not asking you to pay us. But
God, no. I don't care.
But if you want to pay us, I don't mind.
What would they pay us with? If you say money, I will hurt you.
Anime cash. Like, it's like Monopoly money.
I know.
With anime
I know what they
characters.
can do. We can raise a fund so that we can pay for the Mega Video membership.
And a nicer camera. We can get one of those giant ones, and then we can run.
This is a perfectly nice camera, thank you. It's recording in HD.
I know. I want a big one.
Oh, the only thing it would be bulkier, and perhaps be able to shoot a actual film.
Yeah, that's the kind I'm wanting.
Anime Review, the movie.
Exactly.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Explosions!
Anyway. Off topic. So, our first review is going to be on an anime that many people have heard of called Fullmetal Alchemist. And if you haven't heard of it, I don't know what's wrong with you, because you really need to go watch it. Maybe that's a bit pushy.
Maybe.
I highly suggest watching it, if that would be less offensive.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
And it's awesome.
The exposition is... with everything, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. And in this scenario, the entire series is based on, obviously, alchemy, which is the ability to transmute one object, you don't change the composition, but you change the arrangement to create something completely different. Like the different arrangements of carbon is the difference between coal and diamonds. And the entire series is around that as a science as opposed to a form of magic, which I thought was an interesting take on it. Because they weren't, treating it superstitiously, they were just all very factual. This is alchemy, this is what we do.
But it looks magical and pretty.
Thank you for that, Almond.
Also, it's very deep kind of contrast between a sort of childishness and a very dark, sinister world that kind of happens.
It's a very good mesh between optimism and despair, really. It's the only way to describe it. And with alchemy is a very philosophical principle, actually, in that in order to obtain something, you must sacrifice something of equal value, or equivalent exchange. And the premise of the entire anime is that there is an object called the Philosopher's Stone, which has been used in many different myths and many different media, that you can use to defy that rule and be able to get something without having to sacrifice. And the entire story is based around two brothers who are very talented alchemists trying to obtain that stone.
A word of warning to anyone wanting to watch this. It is very dark, though it has happiness.
There's lots of lighthearted humor and comic relief, but very dark and cynical themes run throughout it.
And there were sections where I was very, very depressed and upset with it. That I actually, after one particular episode, did not watch for weeks. Because I was like, why? Why?
It's safe to say that at some point, if you don't feel like an emotional loss at some point during that anime, you either just really don't like it or you don't have human emotions at all.
At all.
Like, not even the basic ones. Overall, Fullmetal Alchemist was really fulfilling. It had a cast of lots of different identifiable characters. So if you don't identify with one, there's probably at least one person that you identify with. Hopefully, it's not Strongarm, but that's a different story.
I like him.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I just said I hope he's not the kind of person you identify with.
I kind of do. I can identify with anyone, though.
Perhaps so. Then you should definitely identify with Envy, but I'm sure you don't.
Nah.
That would figure. It has a lot of meaningful context in it as well, and there are a lot of things that can easily be overlooked, but if you take the time to think about the occurrences in Fullmetal Alchemist, there's a lot actually going on beyond just the driving of a plot. It's not just a start from somewhere and end somewhere else and accomplish something and everyone's better for the experience. There's actually things along the way that are worth paying attention to.
Which might be part of the reason why I have my one complaint. There are a lot of loose ends that kind of get, not necessarily ignored, but they never do get tied up.
They aren't things that affect the overarching plot, but they're subplots that aren't just filler, they're important details, but never really get addressed in the end, which the end is just, I don't know anyone who would not be blindsided by that ending. Unless someone has told you what is going on. I consider myself to be a perceptive person. I read novels and I know the ending by the end of the first chapter most of the time. But this...
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But this, there was no way. I do not feel bad about not seeing the ending of it at all. It took me a few days to really comprehend what I had even seen. And it's taken me even longer to decide if I liked it or not. I think after, I believe it's been 4 months since I finished watching it, I think I've finally decided that I do like the ending. And I just wanted to ask a question, because I would like this to be a communicative type of thing. To anyone who actually has seen all of Fullmetal Alchemist, does anyone think that after the end there would be any room for a continuation? Obviously there would have to be major changes, but do you think there's something there for maybe a movie or maybe a whole nother series? Because I know there's Brotherhood, but that's not what Brotherhood is. And I actually haven't seen Brotherhood yet, because I know I'll be wanting to see more Fullmetal Alchemist, so I'm kind of waiting until I get into that mood where I want to watch it again. And instead of watching the first series again, I'll watch Brotherhood instead, so I have a different experience.
And that's a good thing to bring up as well. This is not a review of Brotherhood.
No.
So don't get the two series confused.
And as much as you may come after me with bow and arrows and trample me in my sleep, but I have not actually read the manga either, which I know is what Brotherhood is based off of. So I really don't have much understanding of Brotherhood, only I've asked about it, and I know that it's not direct sequelage, and that it has some of the same events. So it's not that I don't think it worth watching, I just didn't want to watch it directly afterward, because I think the overlay would make it feel a bit repetitive.
And plus, we want to give you interesting reviews that aren't repetitive as well.
So, if we do review Brotherhood, it's going to be a long time from now.
At least maybe like 2 more other things first or something. I don't know.
Something. We have plenty of stuff to review.
Yeah.
There's so much anime out there, and we don't mean to dwell on the more popular ones, but we need a start where we can kind of build a connection. We don't want to start with really obscure anime that no one else may like, and then just have no one be able to make a connection with us at all. Not saying we're doing it because it's popular and because that's how you get attention, because it's not what we're after, but if you're on a level that no one can reach you, there's no point. So
I want to be popular.
No, he doesn't.
Not really. No.
So overall, Fullmetal Alchemist is a very good series. If you haven't watched it, definitely, there's no ambiguity. I definitely recommend it for you. Please, in the comment section, just talk with us about it, talk with anyone else who's talking about it. Just, let ideas outflow, other than if you're just going to come and say that Bleach is better and that we're all wasting our time. Just, please, none of that. That doesn't get anyone anywhere.
And my personal opinion, Bleach is not better. Just
well,
saying.
let's not drive anyone away.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Personal opinion. Not gonna say.
And that's what this entire thing is. So if you don't like our personal opinions, nobody's making you watch this.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
But if you do like this, please try and share it with other people, because we do want to kind of have our thing going.
A kind of community, in a way.
Yeah.
It would be nice to meet interesting people and have suggestions given to us. That's another thing you can do. If you have anything you want to suggest, we would be welcome to it. Preferably not anything too terribly long. I'm trying to watch Inuyasha right now, and I've been at it for like 3 months, and I'm still only on episode 100-something, and it's just... If you ask for a long anime, it's going to be impossible to review it fairly, because you can't review something fairly without having seen all of it.
And also, any suggestions for how to make our videos better, but nothing like put Hello Kitty in the background or something retarded.
And we are going to be
Eat
working.
carrots.
We're going to be working with effects and stuff. Altman here is very good with video editing, and this was just a brief, almost spontaneous thing that we decided to do today, and just a focal starting point so that we know how to progress in the future.
And a very good practice for me to learn how to use video editing programs even better.
So, if there's anything about the quality that you think is bad, those things are just small anyway, but we are going to work on improving them.
And we would like a critique of them.
As well as the actual content of the reviews will be getting better, because this is something that we are doing from memory, as opposed to having sat down with pen and paper, writing down notes about what comments to make about something. So this was a rather hastily thrown together review, and others will be more in depth, but I don't believe it was a bad start.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good.
Alright. Enough patting ourselves on the back. So, hopefully, you will be interested and watch us again. Share it with any of your friends who may be interested in something like this. Know that we will be all the time doing things to make this improve, and we will see you later.
Bye.